Blizzard just showed us a lot of new runes that are gonna shake up how classes work entirely. So we are gonna go over all the classes that are the most likely from what we saw to become really strong today. And first of all, we are gonna start with a good old maybe, and that's the tanking rogue. We do not know for sure what redirect is gonna be, but it's supposed to fix how combo points work. So one of the problems, the main problem that made rogues useless as a tank was that they couldn't swap targets without losing their combo points. Basically, if you know how vanilla tanking works, you gotta swap target to target and just cycle through them and drop threat on them, because AoE tanking is not a thing, at least not yet. So this will fix the main problem that made their class mechanics actively punish them for trying to tank. At the same time, they are getting a nice AoE which seems to be spammable. Shuriken throw is gonna hit 4 targets, so they will also be able to just AoE a lot too to hold aggro now. So basically the two things I said that were making rogues unplayable as tanks, the combo point system and the lack of proper AoE, now they have two pretty decent solutions for that, and that will mean that they will become at the very least functional this tier. Who knows, they might even become good. It's a bit of a long shot though, I will admit. Another spec that became much more bullish is ironically the cat. Okay, the Feral Druid is gonna have their Tiger's Fury give them 60 energy now instead of costing energy, and that is on a 30-second cooldown, so they are basically getting a full power shift including Wolf's Head Helm for free now. Not to mention the extra 15% damage it gives you, that's just a small part of it, the important part is the energy. This is huge. The Feral Cat was already one of the favorites to actually do well this tier, and now, with this new cooldown, they are gonna dominate this tier. The only thing that might hold them back is the lack of AoE, which is still a problem for the Feral. We might see if the other rune that they get is gonna be a solution for that, let's hope. Also, both the cat and the bear are gonna be very happy this tier, because after 3 false data mines, we finally got confirmation from Blizzard as to what the manual crowd pummeler is gonna be. It is gonna have 69 attack power for bear and cat form, and they are gonna have also 22 strength and 6 agility, so not only it will be the strongest stat stick in the game for them, the original active is still there, 50% attack speed, but now on a 3-minute cooldown. Which is a nerf, yes, but it's still huge. I don't wanna go and tell you that the bear is gonna be broken just yet, because there is one thing that could ruin the bear this tier, and it is that the bosses are mechanical, and if every single one of them is immune to bleeding, they are gonna be useless. Okay, running Mangle sucks. As a matter of fact, I leveled up a warrior just in case they suck this tier, just to have a nice tank for it. That reminds me, another very promising class right now is the warrior, because they are gonna get a rune that is obviously intended for fury, but it is so broken that I think even arms warriors are gonna use it. Okay, basically Bloodthirst, Whirlwind, and this is a big one right here, Heroic Strike, have a 30% chance of giving you a free slam that costs no rage, and it is instant. Now, according to the wording, Slam might still reset your swing timer, but if you cast it right after your normal swing, you are still losing nothing. So this is gonna be huge for Fury, and it is probably gonna be huge for Arms, because even if their rune sucks, getting a free slam on your super slow two-hander, full weapon damage on slam by the way, that's still gonna scale super well. Of course, that is not as promising as the one spec that is gonna dominate PvP even more than it already has, and that is gonna be not the Hunter, okay, it's even worse. The Discipline Priest is getting a cooldown that is gonna reduce damage taken on their target by 40%, and get this, it's also gonna make them immune to purges. You pair this up with a warrior and they are basically a midfield defending machine. You can get a combo of like a crowd controller like a mage, a warrior and a priest, and that basically can hold any position. You're gonna see people sending those 3 guys to blacksmith probably, and then everybody else is gonna just try to take over the points. All the pre-mates are gonna try to do something with the discipline priest now on, I am absolutely sure of it. So if you wanna try hard at PvP and you like healing, there is never a better time than to be a discipline priest. Chest. Another healer that is gonna get the spotlight next tier is gonna be the Arcane Mage. They are getting both a rune for free arcane missiles, which of course that means free heals, and they are also getting a rune that is gonna store their healing that they do to use it later on a pop cooldown. Basically, the main weakness of the Arcane Mage, and the reason that tanks like me do not like having an Arcane Mage in the raid, is because their heals take a lot of setup. You gotta put beacon on somebody, then you gotta cast either Living Flame or Arcane Missiles, which is not instant, and as such they cannot react to surprise damage fast enough. Let's say, for example, if you get crit or Wind Fury or parried or whatever. Having this little cooldown is gonna fix most of that problem, so now they are gonna feel as a tank like any other healer almost, which I consider is gonna be a huge victory for them. The free arcane missiles are also gonna make arcane DPS much more efficient, much more sustainable, so we might see a lot of healers that go DPS for Ospec or something like that too. Shamans in general are also gonna be very strong. As you guys know, one of the biggest reasons that the Alliance is favored in vanilla is the Blessing of Salvation, 30% reduced threat on the target. The Shamans are getting an equivalent buff now. You can buff the tank so he can get 45% extra threat. I know it sounds bigger in numbers, but Blessing of Salvation is equivalent to a 42.1% buff on the tank, so it's just a little better. However, from now on, every raid is gonna need a Shaman, no matter what, of any spec to function. So if all their 3 specs suck, let's say the Resto Shaman sucks, the Enhancement Shaman sucks, and the Elemental Shaman sucks, they are still gonna be required. I got another question for Blizzard, because looking at these changes feels like they are answering to my feedback, okay? Question here, what if you mind control an Alliance guy and you have a Horde Shaman to buff them with this? Are they gonna get it? Because if they can stack this thing and Blessing of Salvation, the tank might as well go AFK, they are never gonna lose aggro. That would be hilarious if we see that exploit happening, just saying. They are also getting 200 specialization. This is the only new rune for the chest apparently that we are getting this tier, and it is just a balance change, an update from the feedback. Shamans were complaining that they missed the 200 style from vanilla. The dual wielding came in TBC, it is not very vanilla feeling, so they are giving a 200 alternative now. It is gonna give you 30% attack speed on your 200. Now, I do not know if that is gonna be better than 10% hit. That feels like a pretty big deal, but this has definitely, when you get all the gear, when you get hit cap on your own, this is definitely gonna be the hardest scaling rune in the game, so that is promising. We're gonna see it probably pop off at level 60 though. The Enhancement Shaman is an auto attack bot, so doing 30% more of that is gonna mean almost exactly 30% more damage. Overall, guys, what they showed is a very good sign, not because I necessarily love everything they done today or whatever, but because I think this is a good sign of a good, healthy mentality at Blizzard, which is blowing my mind. They are looking at people's feedback on the previous iterations, on the previous runes from phase 1, and they are fixing their mistakes. Instead of having Ion Hasicostas digging his heels and refusing to listen to feedback for his ego, this is so much better. So as underfunded as the classic team is, and as idiotic as their first tier runes were for some of the classes, never forget the tanking Scorpion, this is a good sign. I like what the team is doing, and this is giving me a lot of faith. Let's hope Microsoft cuts all the funding to retail, because that thing is just a money waster, and gives them to the 3 people that work in this stupid game that makes all the money anyway. You win this time, Agrend. Now get off Twitter and go back to work. Subscribe, leave a like, join the Discord, and thank you for watching.